Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Tammy Adams. I talk with your guardian angels and spirit guides, guiding, healing, and teaching you how to have a fulfilled life and living your purpose, healing karma and bringing forth good karma. Now, on to the show. Today, we have an amazing show. And it excites me because I feel like this is something that everyone thinks of, but we don't often talk about it. When you think of forgiveness, what first comes to your mind as soon as I mention that? How do we allow ourselves to forgive in today's world? One of the things that we have created since we have been dealing with all the emotional blockages, the disconnection from our emotions, the trying to figure out how to fit in. There's so many things that have to do with this subject when it comes to forgiveness. But when I look at where we've been, what we've done, and how far we've become disconnected from being able to truly forgive ourselves and let go so we do not continue holding on to that pain, we have an issue karmically that makes us take it to a deeper place. And then we start building up this karmic reaction of emotional baggage. And it starts becoming this little ball that we play with. And we get comfortable with that little ball. And we're like, oh, this is like a little bouncy ball of comfort. And as you become connected with that comfort, you start realizing, I really like my little bouncy ball, because when I squish it and it gives me that side ache or it gives me that pain and it reminds me of my sadness or it reminds me of my regrets, I like that. But in reality, we're holding on to things that we should have already allowed ourselves to let go of. Because how are we ever going to grow? How are you going to awaken and transform and be who you're supposed to be, have happiness, have joy, let your dreams come true, if you're holding on to all these blockages? Blockages emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, and even financially. How to forgive in today's world? Good question. And I really loved speaking about this today because I've been thinking about it. And I love that we're going to be talking about forgiveness. When I work on clients and I talk about forgiveness, we quite often go through many different types of subjects. We talk about subjects of forgiving themselves. We talk about forgiveness of forgiving their mom, their dad, people who've abused them emotionally, physically, sexually. And think about that and allow yourself to kind of go in different places or go everywhere with it. And think karmically and energetically, how is that affecting the relationships that you're building and you're creating with business, emotionally, spiritually, financially? How is it karmically creating movement in your life if you're blocked? So if you're blocked and you have this beautiful large wall surrounding you, 10 feet tall, 20 feet tall, 100 feet tall, or just a sphere of this amazing wall, what's going to happen? You're going to become disconnected energetically. You're karmically stopping the flow of movement and accomplishments that you're wishing and wanting in your subconscious to happen. Fulfilling your purpose, connecting to your soulmate, communicating with your guardian angels, possibly a new career. I mean, there's so many directions you can go, so many doors you can open in life. But we stop that from happening because we're too stressed of losing control of that pain. You may be sitting there thinking in your mind, what is this woman talking about? Control of the pain. What is she talking about? I don't want to lose control of the pain. What is that supposed to mean? Of course, I want the pain gone. I don't want to hold on to the pain. But let's be realistic for 1 minute. If you want to let go of the pain, then why are you allowing yourself to continue to hold on to it? Who's the number one person that needs to be working on forgiveness first? Let's say you were abused by someone that was a very deep emotional relationship, someone you cared for, someone that was very intimate, connected to you, passionate, deep love, didn't have to be intimate, just someone that you truly respected. And this person pulled the carpet from under your feet, made you feel like your world was turned upside down. And all of a sudden now you're like, what? What just happened? Oh my gosh, I just got screwed over by this person. When you allow yourself to look back at that moment and you see the circumstances, you see the pain, you see the sadness, you see the complications, the frustration towards this whole scenario. What is one of the things that makes you most upset, most hurt? It is the respect, it is the connection, and it's the self-love. There's a part of us that holds on to pain, and we blame ourselves, and we sit there and say, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, I should have done something different. Sometimes we don't realize that these learning experiences that are very horrific, very challenging, are sometimes huge, massive learning lessons. Not fun ones, not exciting ones, but everything we go through is a lesson so that we can grow, right? It's a lesson so we can grow. So what lesson are we learning from someone who hurts us emotionally, physically, sexually, mentally, financially? We're learning a lot. We're learning how to forgive. We're learning to not do that same mistake. We're learning to pay attention to our intuition. We're learning that it's their karma, not ours. Let them have it. Let them have their negative. Let them have their bad karma that they just created. You focus back on taking your control of your life. Now, rarely will you ever hear me say the word control. You're going to take back your life and sit there and say, I'm sorry. You tried to hurt me. You tried to take me down. I was sitting in that pain. I was sitting in that struggle. But guess what? I don't want it no more. I am going to rise above the situation, change the circumstances, and shine. I'm going to change everything and make it beautiful again. Because the regrets we have from allowing others to hurt us, there's nothing we can do about the past. You do not have a magic wand to erase, rewind, fix it, and come back. Okay? So how you fix it is you live in the present and you realize that you don't want in 10 minutes from now to have this conversation again. And the only way in 10 minutes you're not going to have that conversation again is by allowing yourself to awaken and to grow from the experience by forgiving the most important person on the planet, yourself. Forgive yourself for accepting the pain and letting it stay too long. Forgiving yourself for saying, I shoulda, woulda, could have. It is not your fault. And even if you might have been a part of it and there is some responsibility that is on your shoulders, in your heart or in your mind, from this incident, from these scenarios, from these situations that you've lived in life. Again, forgive yourself for not knowing better at that moment. We all make mistakes. That's why it's called life. Life is an experience. It's a gift. It's magic. It's beautiful. And without these lessons, how would you ever grow and learn and shine? Of course you would not grow and shine. It's not possible. It can't happen. The more you allow yourself to awaken and see your beauty and let your light shine and transform, you will notice so many things energetically and karmically change in your life. The moment you immediately sit there and snap your fingers and say, I am done. I stand tall and strong in my being, in my soul, in my spirit, and I will no longer allow myself to be taken advantage of. I will no longer allow myself to be hurt, and I will no longer hold on to this pain. But you can't let go unless you allow yourself to see the situation. How judgment stops us from being ourselves. This is a good point when it comes to forgiveness. We judge the people who have harmed us. We judge the people who have harmed others. And who do you think is judging you for the harm that you've created because of the pain and the experiences, the blockages, the disconnection, the lack of love that you're giving to someone else? But most importantly, the lack of love that you give to yourself. How judgment stops us from being ourselves. Isn't that interesting? What judgment do you feel is creating a huge thundercloud above your head, stopping you from shining the way you want to shine? What judgment is truly stopping you from shining? Do you understand what I mean by that? Who are you judging? What fear? What pain? What anxious thought? What is keeping you trapped inside and stopping you from shining? From being you? From being the gift that you were from the moment you became a seed in the womb of your mother? What do you feel you have done about it from this moment? There could have been a lot of things you've done. You could have went to therapy. You could have already tried meditation. You could have worked on forgiveness. But obviously there might still be a little bit of residue. So think about it. Think of all the things you should have done, you could have done, and you still can do so you can become whole. So when you're forgiving, I think of the forgiveness that we want for ourselves. I think of the key component to healing. And forgiving you is number one. You can't forgive your abuser, your person out there who's harmed you, without forgiving yourself first. You may be asking, well, what am I forgiving myself? I didn't do anything. Well, it's not about what you did. It's about you forgiving yourself for holding on to the pain, because the person who harmed you doesn't care as much as you think they care about what they did. They're not sitting there every day of their life and sitting there going, gosh, that was fun hurting that person. Man, that was fun. They don't think like that. People who make mistakes, people who harm others, whether it's from drugs, whether it's from alcohol, whether it's because they have some type of a blockage or pain or some type of disconnection, or they're following a pattern because of the generational karmic pattern that they have, and it's continuing with their actions. They've been abused, so they're going to abuse. They've been molested, so they're going to molest others. We have to understand how things work. So you're forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to hold on to that pain as long as you have, and letting it carry to a place that doesn't deserve the attention or the space that you've given it. You deserve to be on top, to be the most awesome, high-rise person on the planet, flying above in the clouds, singing the biggest, loudest song you can find, and saying, I am free. I am free of pain. I am free of suffering. I am free of any chains that are holding me back. Then after you forgive yourself, we focus on letting go of the pain others have caused you. Then you forgive them. You forgive yourself, then you forgive others. When you forgive others, you understand the circumstances of where they have been. Let me give an example. My mother has been extremely abusive to me. My mother enjoyed beating us as children. She didn't flinch. She didn't bat an eye. She definitely never said sorry. And she felt like she was justified every time she did it. There was no regret. There was no pain. There was no sadness. She just felt like it was her job. Just give a beating, and that's what she can do. And it was no holdback. We were children, and she beat us like we were big men. When my mother did what she did, how could I forgive her? Easily. I know it sounds crazy. Easily I can forgive her. My mother's life was hell on earth with her family. She was beat and abused where she did not even understand how to have the freedom of speaking in her household. And no matter how much it doesn't justify what she did to most people, it's justified in my heart because I understand how someone who is used to being beat thinks it is normal to beat their children as well. I understand how someone who is molested feels like it's normal to molest their children or someone else. I have been working with people for so many years, over 35 years, helping people all over the world. On stage, off stage, individual sessions, creating courses and programs, so many things I have to offer to people around the world. And one thing I've realized is that nobody, I don't care who it is, nobody is born with hatred. Nobody is born with anger. Nobody is born with the ability and the gift and the desire and the dream to harm or hurt others. Nobody has that. We are taught how to be abusive. We are taught how to be disconnected. We are taught how to become unemotional. We are taught how to ignore our dreams. We are taught how to be amazing cattle, following the direction of where our parents, our teachers, our pastors, our priests, our ministers, our elders tell us to go. We are taught to follow directions and don't go against the grain. We are taught don't question if you can communicate with your guardian angel because they're not real. We are taught so many things that don't make sense. That used to be a common, absolutely amazing gift that everyone was aware of. Communicating with guardian angels. Well, of course I communicate with my guardian angels, don't you? Yes, of course I do. These days, things are so different. And the deeper we get disconnected from morals, the deeper we get disconnected from consequences of getting a slap on the hand or a you can't hurt me or you can't abuse me, someone speaking up, the more we allow that to happen, the more it's going to continue to allow itself to create a negative infestation, infesting the world. But you can be the change for your realm. Your realm meaning your home, your loved ones, your realm, your space, your sanctuary, your career, your business, your lifestyle. The more you change the frequency, you karmically transform what is around you with your family and your loved ones and your career. You must allow yourself to understand it is easy to take the first steps. It's easy, but it is not easy to continue unless you stay on top of meditation. You stay on top of remembering to not keep the wall up. So number one, how judgment stops us from being ourselves. So forgive you, number one. Number two, letting go of the pain others have caused you. Remember how amazing you are. Remember what you were like when you were just a baby and a child, and how you had a free spirit and how you had dreams. Bring that back and see how amazing you are. Look at yourself in the mirror and realize how perfect you are. Number three is forgiving ourselves for allowing pain to set in. Meaning, forgiving yourself from allowing the pain to take the space it's taken. So you're forgiving you, then you're forgiving the others, then you're truly allowing yourself to forgive the time that's been wasted and allowing the pain to set in, allowing the pain to create the walls, allowing the pain to grow 10 feet tall, 100 feet tall, allowing the pain to stop you from embracing your soulmate, allowing the pain to stop you from your career and worrying about if someone says no to you, allowing the pain to be a block where your creative side can't flow because you're so disconnected. There are so many subjects when it comes to this. And one of the things that makes my heart so tickly and so excited is when I talk about it, I just think in my mind, oh my gosh, can you imagine the world with people that love themselves? Can you imagine how there would be no war? Can you imagine how there would be no suffering? Can you imagine how there would be only joy? And can you imagine everyone being with their soulmates? And can you imagine everyone living their purpose? I mean, my mind just goes, whew, wow, we would have an awesome world. It's easy to become contagious. Contagious with love, contagious with this amazing gift of freedom. Freedom in your soul, freedom in your spirit. It's easy to become contagious of allowing ourselves to let go of fear and stress and anxiety, of what will happen if I let go of that pain. Will I get hurt again? Well, if I allow myself to listen to what the show is teaching me If I allow that to happen, my gosh, then does that mean I'd let it happen again? And then that's leaving room for me to get screwed over, or someone pulling the rug from under my feet, and now I'm not cautious anymore, and geez, this is really going to screw my life up. Wrong. No, no, no. That's not how it works, guys. Once you've learned a lesson, it's like a bone. When it breaks, it grows back stronger. We all know the routine, guys. The moment you allow yourself to remember something that has hurt you from before, that memory of how you have been hurt doesn't go away. But what goes away is that self-sabotaging blockage that you create from allowing yourself to live life to the fullest. Bringing joy in your heart and allowing yourself to spread your wings to be the earth angel that God put you here to be on this planet. Loving others, opening doors for others, and whatever else is meant to be. Look at your career. Look at your life. Look at what happens when you go to sleep. Look at what happens when you wake up. Pay attention to the frequency and to the energy that's around you. Are you feeling like you're living and being the best you? Do you feel like you're allowing yourself to truly awaken to the life that you're given every single day? Remember, you're still breathing. You still have blood running through your veins. That means you have nothing but time to create transformation and change now, right now. Do you want to change? That's the question you're asking yourself. It's not, can I change? Do you want to change? It's not about if you can. Anyone can change. What about this song, Amazing Grace? From what I've been told by a father, a priest, who taught me when I used to live in the nunnery many years ago when I was going to be a nun, he said, Father Philip told me, he said, do you know, sweetheart, that the song Amazing Grace was written by a criminal? And I said, what do you mean, Father, it was written by a criminal? He said, yeah, the person who wrote the song Amazing Grace did some bad things and had a revelation and found God. And now it is the most famous, recognized song in most churches and radio stations and in homes around the world. Anyone can change, he said. And I learned that when I was very young. But we must allow ourselves to remember and understand. Anyone can change, but do you want to change? No one can change without their own consent. Give yourself permission. Let your heart sing with joy and know that you are worthy. You are special. You are amazing. And most importantly, you have an amazing life that's ahead of you. A glorious life of magic and miracles, love to share with so many people. Look forward to what you can do in this world and how you can create change. Share your stories with people to help them to be transformed as well. Your heart is ready for movement. Just allow it to take the opportunity and the chance. You deserve it. You need to remember that you deserve happiness, joy, and peace. You deserve it all. Open your heart. Welcome the blessings. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of another amazing episode, learning about karma and spirituality. And all my Earth Angel listeners, thank you and God bless. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to email me about some topics that you might be wanting to hear about. Until next time, have a blessed week. You can email me at karmatalkshow@gmail.com. And remember, know that your angel, God, and your spirit guides are always holding you. Be thankful and appreciative for all the miracles that continue to bestow love, protection in our lives. God bless.